We are live. What is going on, everyone? Welcome
What's
to the
up?
channel. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. As always, if you're coming in, thanks so much to take time out of your day. If you're watching this on replay, thanks so much to take time out of your day. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. What is going on, buddy? How you doing?
What's up? I'm good. How about you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. We got the first dub yesterday against the Warriors. The Lakers looked
Yeah.
really good. We touch on that a little bit, and then dive into like today's topic in general. But did you get to see the game by any
I did
chance?
not. You're gonna have to fill me in a little bit.
So I mean, look, it was a good game, start to finish. Everyone looked really good. No LeBron, no
Yeah.
Westbrook, no Patrick Beverly.
Okay.
Still, we looked really good. Matt Ryan, not the quarterback, but the player. He had a lights out game. Really, like single handedly changed the tides in the fourth quarter.
Okay.
He scored 20 points in 20 minutes and was 6 and 9 from three. So of
Jeez,
course
he was on
everyone wants them
fire.
to sign him immediately, but just like I said with Bacon, and look what happened. I'm gonna say the same thing with Ryan. Is we need to see a little more sample size. Anybody can get
Yeah.
hot in a moment, in a game, something like that. Same thing with Bacon. Everyone was saying sign Bacon, because he scored 11 points in 6 minutes and looked like the next superstar. And then the next game, he got 21 minutes of playtime and put up a
Yeah.
big goose egg and was absolutely atrocious out there. So again, these are at the end of the day, these are professional players. These guys are good, and
Yeah.
anybody good can look good for moment sample sizes or just games. We've seen guys come in that had superstar moments and then just were terrible or out of the league.
Yeah.
Even rookies. I mean, look at like Michael Carter Williams is a great example. Dude had one of arguably the best rookie seasons ever. Wins Rookie of the Year. Looks like he's going to be an automatic trip dub every single night, and now the guy's out of the league because he wasn't really that good. Like
Yeah.
it's just we got to calm expectations, but he did look really good. I imagine he gets more playing time the next two games, and I'm curious to see if he can stay consistent during that
Okay.
time. If he can stay consistent, I think he'll be good. Anthony Davis was a monster, 28
Yeah.
points in like 21 minutes, something like that. And then just Walker, none still looks like that dude. I love it. But just in general, we had a really solid game, both sides of the ball. I really liked what I saw. I mean, we talked about this before. This is a team that can win games without LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Obviously, you don't want them missing, multiple games at a time. But
Yeah.
say on a back to back, you got a back to back, and on the second night you rest LeBron, you rest AD, and you rest Beverly. This is a team that could still win that game. You know,
Yeah.
even
So now,
without
did
those
Anthony
guys.
Davis play last night? It looks like
Yeah,
he did, right? Okay.
yeah, he had 28
28,
points.
3-3.
Yeah,
Okay.
and like 21 minutes of play, something like that. He just looked like a monster, man. He shot 50% from three, everything. He's looking really good. He's looking like
Your
the Anthony
boy
Davis
Nunn with 21 points.
I'm telling you, man, the boy is good. The boy is nice. But I love it. I love what we're seeing. I love the ball movement, sharing the ball, stuff like that. They're doing a really good job with all that stuff. The ball doesn't really stick, which is nice. Just really a solid performance all around. I really appreciate that. What's going on,
And
LA Sports
Steph
Live?
played
I
too.
appreciate it. What's up? What's up? You said what?
I said, and Steph played too. Looks like Steph.
Yeah, everybody played for the Warriors except for Draymond and Clay. Draymond and Clay were the only ones that didn't play. And look,
Okay.
and Draymond or Steph and Poole combined for 49 points. They played like 20 something minutes. So it wasn't like it was like we did this against a bunch of like bench guys, a bunch of
Yeah.
trash guys. No, we did this against their team.
Yeah.
Could Steph and Clay have made a difference? Sure. But so could LeBron, Westbrook, Beverly, Brown, Schroeder. Like all five of those guys were missing, and they could have made a difference too. So I mean, I think that I think we look really good. Like LA Sports Live said, a revenge season for the Lakers this year. Agreed. Could not agree more. I
Right.
think I think we're gonna surprise a lot of people this year. A
And
lot
what
of
did it
people.
look like? Everybody was like running out there, like 20%, 30%. What would you say?
I mean, we were playing pretty good, but it's preseason. Guys aren't giving like Anthony Davis. He had 3 rebounds. He easily could have gotten probably 15 in that game. But you know,
Okay.
it's preseason, so you don't want to kill yourself. A guy's got position. Usually, you fight for that board regardless. But it's
Yeah.
preseason. All right, he's got the position. Just let him get the board. Let me get back on defense.
Yeah.
You see a lot of times just in preseason period, like backdoors. Like somebody beats somebody instead of trying to recover and get the hard foul to make them have to earn it. They go get the layup. You know what I mean? It's just different kind of basketball because nobody's trying to get hurt out there. Nobody's trying to play. It's just they're scrimmage games essentially. They're to
Yeah.
get prepared, to get warmed up, to work on your play sets, to work on your schemes, and get ready for the season. You know, but so the thing that I wanted to dive into today is the Lakers roster as a whole and who the starters should be.
Ah.
Now, obviously, Russ, LeBron, and AD, those are going to be your starters. We have seen different sets and different lineups pretty much every game
Yeah.
from Kendrick Nunn and Thomas Bryant, Kendrick Nunn, Damian Jones,
Hmm.
Pat Bev, Lonnie Walker, Austin Reeves, all of these guys. And it seems like the Lakers are contemplating, based on even what Darvin Ham said, Lakers are contemplating potentially doing like having AD play the 5 more than we anticipated, and then go in
Yeah.
a 3-guard lineup. So let's start with AD. Now, obviously he's going to start, but
Yeah.
would you prefer him to start at the 4 over an 82 game season?
Hmm.
Would you prefer him to play the 5 where he is best utilized? I do understand that. And I do
Yeah.
think come playoff time, he will very likely play the 5. Or do you think start him at the 5, certain matchups and stuff like that? What are your thoughts?
I'm gonna go a little bit of both. So on a smaller matchup, I would probably prefer that he played the 5. Um, but on a little bit of bigger matchup, maybe have him play the 4. So yeah, I would probably kind of switch off like during out like the whole season, and we could even have. It's a little bit of a stretch, but we could even have Gabriel play like the 5 with him.
Yeah.
I think they would make a good combination. But no, I said like I don't think it's necessarily one or the other. I think you switch it off because in the playoffs, what you're gonna see is you're gonna see a whole bunch of like they're just gonna try like different things, and the playoffs is when all the tricks come out, kind of sort of too. So like I feel like we should kind of switch it up a little bit,
Yeah.
kind of
I
mix it throughout the season, kind of
yeah,
bounce
I
back and
think
forth.
to me, I think it depends on the matchups. Like, if like the first 2 games of the season, we play the Warriors and the Clippers.
Yeah,
I think those 2 games, you could easily start Anthony Davis at the 5
yeah,
because the Warriors, they're either going to go Wiseman or they're going to go what am I blanking on his name? They're why am I blanking on his name? It's going to drive me crazy. But they're my point is they don't have big centers, right? Um,
yeah,
they don't have those. They don't have like Embiid or a Joker or
yeah,
something along those lines where you really have to worry about like, oh man, they got a dominance. Kevin Looney. There we go.
yeah,
That was driving me crazy. I had to look it up real quick. But yeah, like very likely Davis is going to go up against Looney, who's undersized, or Wiseman, who's a rookie. And I know somebody in the chat's going to say, "Oh, he's not a rookie this second season, but he didn't play all season last season, so he's a rookie."
yeah,
So a matchup like that, you start AD at the 5. Because he's not going to get banged up. He's got the size advantage. He's got the
yeah,
skill set advantage. All of those things. But if it's and same thing with the Clippers, right? If we're going up against the Clippers and Zoo is their only center, you start
yeah,
AD at the 5 because you don't have to worry about Zoo, dominating Anthony Davis or anything like that. You're good.
yeah,
That's a good, easy matchup. But if we're playing, say, Denver, like you don't want
yeah.
him having a Bane with the Joker down low.
No, no,
So
no, no.
yeah,
Definitely got
so
to put
that
out the 4.
yeah, exactly. So that game, you probably start him at the 4, things like that. I think, and I do think we're going to see different lineups based on different matchups. I
Yeah,
really do. But I would like some stability.
yeah,
Like I don't want like every game you have a different starting 5 out there. Like I think they need to have specific lineups for a specific team. So like if we're playing against one of the elite centers in the league, then start Damian Jones or Thomas Bryant. You know,
Yeah.
but if we're playing any of the other teams that don't have an elite center, that are like undersized or just don't have somebody that you have to worry about with Anthony Davis, then you have Anthony Davis start. And that's not because you want to hide Anthony Davis or make him look better or anything. It's just you want him healthy. Come playoffs, come a closeout game or a game 7. You best believe Anthony Davis is starting at center. They're not going to take those chances. But in an 82 game season, you want to preserve Anthony Davis as much as humanly and physically possible. So you don't want to worry about that. So moving on next would be LeBron. So the idea is starting LeBron at the 4. Now, would you rather them go that route with LeBron at the 4 and then having like a 3-guard lineup, or would you rather have like a Wenyen Gabriel or like a JTA and LeBron stay at the 3?
I would say keep LeBron at the 3 for probably the entire season. Because that's just where, he's a point forward, but that's really where he kind of shines. And being at the 3 kind of gives him like mobility to kind of like move around. It's not necessarily, he doesn't have to necessarily be at the top of the key or in the post always. So I think LeBron needs to stay at the 3 because that way he can move around, do what he needs to do, run the offense. I wouldn't put him at the 4. No, just because I feel like at his age, he's too. I'm not gonna say fragile because LeBron's not fragile, but you could see the age just a little bit, and I feel like we need someone a little bit more. I would put Gabriel at the 4 because we need someone a little bit more agile, young, not afraid. Not necessarily afraid. LeBron's not afraid, but not too timid to get like banged up in the paint. So I'll keep LeBron at the
3. Okay. Yeah, I think. You go about that in multiple ways. I think either one, you keep LeBron at the 3, and then you run like a JTA at the 4. So if
JTA over Gabriel,
yes, and the reason for that is JTA gives you more versatility, especially in the shooting, right? Where Gabriel is just he's not going to give you shooting, but he's just high energy. He's going to get you rebounds, going to play defense, which is great. But
do you think he's a better defender though over JTA?
No, not overall. I think against certain players, certain matchups, I think Gabriel is a better, I guess, dog. Like he's a better like hustler. He's 100% constantly, which is good. Like I've even said, Wenyen Gabriel is a jump shot away from being like a real guy in this league. Like that dude is good, like getting paid. But he's not there yet. Where you have a guy in JTA who has experience playing with the Warriors, and he's a guy that can knock down the 3 and play some defense, and he's got some decent size to him. Not the biggest guy in the world, but he's got some size to him. But the reason I would have JTA is so on offense, you could have LeBron play the 4. Or sorry, LeBron play the 4 on offense. Or, you could have him play the 4 on defense, depending on the matchup. So it gives you more interchangeable. So, like, for example, say we're playing against, let's say the Suns, and they have Cam Johnson out there. Like LeBron can guard Cam Johnson at the 4, right? And then you could put JTA on Bridges at the 3. Or you could even switch that up, where you could have JTA, like say Bridges is not having a great game today, but Johnson is. Well, you could swap that. And you get more switchability, more flexibility, things like that. Or you go like if they were to play LeBron at the 4, then I would probably want Walker to play the 3, because like there's a lot of talks from Darvin Ham about the Lakers playing a 3-guard lineup where you have AD, LeBron, and then 3 guards, which is fine. But it would be nice to have Walker because he has length at 6'10".
Yeah.
And he's not
That's
just
what we
he's not,
need. We need length.
exactly.
Other than
So
AD, we need more length out there.
yeah, exactly. And
And that's why
so you
I'm
could
really big on Gabriel, even though he's fresh and new, but his like
no,
wingspan is
I do
old.
agree. He's definitely got the length. He's definitely got the size, and he's definitely got the ability to play real defense, solid defense, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think JTA would just give you a little more flexibility. Now, I wouldn't mind it. Like if they started Gabriel, I wouldn't be like, ah man, what are you doing? That's stupid. Like, no, I wouldn't say anything like that. Like it's fine. But I think he's a guy that would be best served off the bench.
Yeah.
Just that high energy motor off the bench, I think would be great. And then, but if you're going to do a 3 guard lineup, I would prefer like Walker at the 3, and then obviously Westbrook is going to start. And the thing about Westbrook is there's no he's your point guard, right? You're not going to start him at the 2 or the 3 or anything like that. So
And you're putting
it's
none
not
at
really,
the 2, right?
I mean, that's what I wanted to get to next. So let's say they do go the 3 guard lineup, right?
Okay.
And they go LeBron at the 4, Davis at the 5.
Yeah.
Westbrook's going to be your point guard. So what other 2 guards would you want to play that 2 and 3 spot?
Either Patrick or none, realistically.
Playing the 2?
Yeah.
And then who would you rather have, Walker or Reeves playing the 3?
See that they both give you not totally different, but they're 2 different players.
No, I agree with that.
If Reeves was more consistent, I would say Reeves. I think he's doing what he's doing is good, being a facilitator and kind of just spreading the floor. I would say I would gamble on Reeves. If Reeves wasn't working out like halfway through this season, I would switch to Walker.
Okay, real quick, Carrie coming in hot with the $2 super sticker. Thank you so much, Carrie. Really,
thank you, Mr. Carey.
Didn't have to do that. You can't see it because it doesn't show on the StreamYard thing, but on the YouTube thing, I can see it just says vibes. The sticker says vibes. And don't worry, Carrie, I won't eat the sticker. She'll get that joke. She'll get that reference. But no, thank you so much, Carrie. We really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Carey.
Thank you for that. And then, but yeah, back to diving into the thing. Like, yeah, I really like the idea of a 3 guard lineup because I think it would spread the floor and add a little more flexibility. But I would want I think that 2 spot changes a lot. I think it really does. I think it depends on which team we're playing. I really do.
Yeah.
But I kind of lean towards going like Westbrook, Reeves, Walker, LeBron, and Davis. I just
Westbrook,
don't know.
Reeves, Walker, LeBron, and Davis. Okay. You're covering all your bases with that lineup. You really are. You're covering literally everything that you need on the court. Almost any matchup, like you got it all covered.
And Austin Reeves plays so well with the starters. So I think you're really going to capitalize and maximize him. My only concern is
you said who does? You said Westbrook?
For who would get maximized? Austin Reeves.
No. You said Reeves plays good at the starters.
Yeah, he plays great.
Yeah, he does.
Like he is great.
Especially when LeBron's on the floor. Like something happens when LeBron's on the floor with him. He just I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. And yeah, he just plays off of LeBron really well and just plays off of those starters really well. So my only concern though, and it's a real concern, is how good would they shoot? That's my only problem because Westbrook, like your 2 best shooters in that lineup would be LeBron and Davis.
Really. And Westbrook S3. And he's improving. His shooting has improved, which is exciting to see.
But is he going to be
form and everything?
Is he going to be consistent enough? To actually keep teams honest,
And is he going to take too many threes? Because when Russ gets excited, he takes a lot of. When he makes like 1 or 2, he's going to take 2 or 3 more, and they maybe misses. Exactly. Yeah. So he may, kind of go cold.
So that's my only concern with that lineup. I think you're really good defensively. I think you have a ton of playmaking there because you have 5 guys that can play make. I think you could run. You're athletic. You're switchable. I think, like you said, you cover all your bases in
Yeah.
that starting 5. My only concern is shooting. Will that team be good shooting the basketball, or would they just be awful? That's my only.
No, it's a valid concern. And couldn't we put so if shooting was the concern, couldn't we put in okay, so would Patrick Beverly be a good spot at the 2 just because the shooting is there? Or could we go none at the I guess yeah, I don't know. Because you're in this lineup you're having LeBron play the 4. So could we go maybe none at the 3? Or is that
I think no, I think the best lineup most likely would turn out would be Westbrook, none. I think it would be Westbrook, none, uh, Walker, LeBron, and Davis.
Westbrook, none, Walker, LeBron, and Davis?
I think that would be it. But the only reason I want them to start Reeves is because I think Reeves just plays so much better. Like, so you're not going to get a better Reeves than when he's playing with LeBron and Anthony Davis. So,
That's true.
so my point is, like, Kendrick Nunn, you're going to get the same Kendrick Nunn regardless. It might be easier for him with LeBron and Davis, but he's still a guy that could give you 25 off the bench, give you 25 in a game, starting. Same thing with Walker. I think no matter what, you're going to have that. But Austin Reeves, we have seen he's really good when he's running with the starters, but he's not that good when he's running with like the other bench guys. I mean, he has his moments, but he's so much more effective when he's running with LeBron and those guys. So my only thinking would be play Reeves and as with the starters to really maximize his abilities. And then
to make him better, honestly, to level, so he can kind of get like leveled up. Because you can see he's still a little raw, still a little like, I don't know if timid is a good word, but he's still a little kind of just like, unmolded in that sense. Just making like, a little bit like rookie mistakes on the court. But I do like that lineup though because it's kind of like a hybrid of lineup. I remember last week we talked about kind of having that run and gun, that fast, So you do have that with this lineup, and also you have the height and the reinforcement in Davis and LeBron. But I just don't know if it would be enough if we are playing like a Joker or like a Giannis. I mean, not necessarily worried about LeBron and AD not being able to stop Giannis, but but I think that at that point, like you said, you just keep throwing fresh legs because, I mean, how many quarters do you really expect LeBron and AD to kind of keep going at Giannis over and over again? You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I do. I think that might be. I mean, it's pretty interesting. But is Draymond really leaving the Warriors as stand? I mean, according to Stephen A. Smith, this might be his last season. I personally don't think he's going to the Lakers. I really don't. I think 1, he's not worth the money. 2, the Lakers don't have a way to trade for him. 3, if he does opt out, he's not going to opt out of $24 million to go take like $10 million somewhere. So I think if anywhere he gets traded or he ends up going to like I could see a team like Detroit paying him the money that he wants. Like I could see something like that.
I mean, as much as we would like to see him on the Lakers, I think it would be a good fit, especially with LeBron, AD. I don't know how he'd play for us, but it's just a fun matchup because of LeBron and AD. It would be fun. Is it really going to happen? I guess we'll see. I know he's talked about it in his podcast. He said he wouldn't mind playing with LeBron. So, but at this point in his career, I don't know if he's going to make a decision based on who he wants to play with. I think he's more so going to make a monetary decision because he is getting closer to the end of his career.
So I mean, you want to capitalize. He's going to go to the spot that probably gives him the most money. He's won all his championships.
By the way, really quick too. Yeah, no, I was watching the apology on. I was watching the apology a couple of days ago. He just was kind of addressing the media after he like punched Poole in the face. No, I just there's a little bit more behind that than I think we all thought, but apparently stuff like this goes on more than we think in the
I mean, it does all the
on
time.
practices. Like Jordan, like Steve Kerr got punched, and see, and that's what the kind of controversy was there. I don't know if Steve Kerr punishing, you know, Draymond was, because he got punched in the face by Jordan, that made them closer. And when you look at that, it's like, well, how could you, how are you really gonna?
See,
It's situational. It is. It really is, though.
But my only problem is that there is a real difference between a fight, like Jordan and Kerr went head to head, and he ended up getting punched. Like it was like a fight. They were at each other's face, this, that, and the other. He ends up getting punched, right? Where what we saw with like the whole Draymond Green thing, like Draymond was the aggressor from start to finish. You know what I mean? Like that was a big difference. And he just kept escalating it heavier and heavier and heavier. And that punch wasn't just like a boom, like say something again. Like, like that happens a lot. You see guys sort of like duke it out, stuff like that. But like that's not what this was. This was a, like I'm pissed off. I'm having a bad day. I'm gonna
see, and that's exactly what it was. That's exactly what he said. He said he had more going on in his personal life, and he said that he honestly cannot say that did not interfere with that decision.
But I'm saying, like, my problem is he did it to one of the only guys he could have done it to. Like, he wasn't
when you're saying like willing to fight, or are you willing to say like without like a huge like repercussion, like
no, I'm saying like he punched. He didn't punch Clay or Steph or one of the bigger guys. He punched a 22-year-old kid that he knew wasn't going to fight back. It's a big like it would have been a bigger difference. Like if that was like say Andrew
I don't think he's
Wiggins.
Gonna punch like Draymond or not Draymond. Sorry, I don't think he's gonna punch like freaking Dwight Howard or something like that. Like no, like.
But I'm saying like if he would have tried to punch like Kevon Looney, right?
Yeah.
I think that would have went very different. Like I don't think he would have even tried because Kevon Looney is as big as he is, if not a little bigger.
Yeah.
It's like it's picking on the little guy. It's like Jordan Poole. He's not going to hit back. I can. I'm not gonna try to fight the biggest kid in the yard. I'm gonna try to fight the smaller kid that because I know he's not gonna fight back. I know he's not gonna do anything. Like that's my problem.
And so what's going on? So there's been talk. There's a lot of speculation that Jordan Poole is ever since he kind of got this new contract, and he's very what's the word? They said off season. He's kind of been very like come off the bench, hit one shot, and he's like like
I'm the man.
I'm the man. And I guess that practice they were going back and forth, and that just piled on top of whatever Draymond Green had going on that day. But I do agree with you. when you say that like that punch was not like a hey like just shut up. That was like a on the street like I'm about to finish you off because he had him pinned up against the wall too.
Jordan out. Like Jordan crumbled. Like if you look at the video, it looked like he crumbled.
In the video, like his face was like squished against the wall. So like I just see that's another thing. I don't know if that's gonna like I don't know what team chemistry. I don't know. I don't know what's
that's my concern. I think
that incident might. I mean, I get the championship DNA, but like that right there might set the tone for the course of the season. The thing is, like, hey, we got the doors wide open.
Yeah, definitely. What's going on, Ghostface Fanatic? I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. When do you guys think LeBron will retire and enter the Hall of Fame? I think he's got at least another 3 to 4 years before he retires. It'll probably be about at least 5 or 6 years before he is in the Hall of Fame. Because I mean, he's one of those like locked Hall of Fame guys, to where they'll probably throw him on something to get him in there immediately, but it usually takes a couple years to get into the Hall of Fame. Like look, for example, like Jordan was entered into he had his Hall of Fame speech and everything in like 2011 or something like that when he like retired 11 years old. So it usually takes time for guys to get in the Hall of Fame. But LeBron I think has got at least a good 3-4 years at least. at least 3 or 4 years. So, what
I,
are your
I would
thoughts?
agree. No, I would agree. I would say I see him playing for maybe five. Five is a stretch, but maybe five. Then shortly after Hall of Fame. Yeah, hopefully he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer for sure. But yeah, I can see him at very, very, very max five. At very, very minimum, I could see three. I give him he has another at least 3 years. And that's the crazy thing too. That's 3 years without necessarily huge like digression. Like I still we see him being like a 23, 10, and 4 guy, So,
I mean, he's so smart. He could play
yeah.
forever. That dude is
No,
so
really.
good.
I mean, yeah.
What's going on, Carrie? Carrie said, "This lady says you're welcome, by the way." And yes, I get the reference. Perfect. Good. Sorry, I can't be much use in basketball anymore. Stopped watching after Shaq and Kobe, but game on. Having fun, guys. Well, thank you, thank you. And look, it's no worries. I appreciate you coming in and supporting nonetheless, Carrie. You know I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are
Thank
awesome.
you.
She's great. She really is. She's fantastic. Um, how do you guys feel about Giannis going to the Lakers or the Warriors? Do you guys think that he could go to the Lakers at all? Probably not. I think. See, the thing is that like a lot of those,
I
you know,
can't afford him.
a lot of the foreign guys are a lot more loyal than like American players. Like you see, like look at outside of like Kobe, a lot of like the guy like Dirk played his whole career. Like Duncan, although not foreign, but still played his whole. There's certain character attributes that you see, and you're like, okay, that guy's gonna be there forever. And Giannis is one of those guys. He's very loyal. He's very humble. He's very like he's still very much that kid, growing up with his 11 siblings or whatever it is. Just. So I don't think he's ever going to leave the Bucks. And if he ever did, I definitely don't think it's the Warriors or the Lakers. I think if he did go, it would be to like a team, like one of the like random teams. Like he'd go to like Dallas or something like that, like a smaller market, something along those lines. Like maybe go team up with Luca or something. I could see something like that. But like Giannis had his opportunity, and everyone told him he should have left. Everybody was like, "Dude, you're not going to win in Milwaukee." Blah blah blah. He signs that extension, and that year wins the championship. So I think he's even looking at it as like, I'm this dude, I'm
Yeah.
this, whatever, that kind of thing. So
No,
I just go ahead.
no, I was gonna say no. I would agree. I like this. I love the examples that you used actually with Duncan. Then you had like Ginobili, Parker. Although I don't know that I can't recall that they would play their entire career for the Spurs. But no, I
Well,
mean,
Tony Parker kind of did. He went to the Hornets for like half a year or whatever,
okay,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
he wasn't there very long. But yeah, he pretty much played pretty much his whole career there.
Yeah, I think he's too much of a competitor. Like Giannis is especially after winning the championship, he's too. I don't think he'll go to where there's already stars. I don't think he wants that at this point. Like you
Yeah,
said, like
I don't think he
yeah,
wants to build super teams and stuff. Like he's not going to stop somebody coming to him.
yeah,
Like if whatever, if like Ja was like, I want to go play with Giannis in Milwaukee, he's not going to be like, no, I don't want him because he's a superstar. No, it's not going to be anything like that. But I don't think he would go to leave to team up to do a superstar. But you never know. I mean, look, you never know what a player is going to do towards the end of his career. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon because I think he still has a long way to go. But I wouldn't be, say he's 35, wants one more contract, and say he only has one ring. Maybe he looks at it as like, I'd really like to go get one more championship before I ride off into the sunset. So then maybe he goes and teams up with some players to kind of like one last push for another title, something like that. Maybe I don't completely rule that out. I don't think that that's impossible, but I don't see, at least anytime soon, I don't think it's going to happen.
What's crazy too? Milwaukee is one elite point guard away from being a like almost guaranteed, Eastern Conference like championship.
Dude, I think
yeah.
I was gonna say, I think if Middleton didn't get hurt, they would have went back to back. I really do, because
Yeah,
I think they matched up better against the Warriors. I actually think they would have beaten the Warriors. If Chris
yeah,
Middleton,
because of size alone. I mean,
yeah, yeah. Well, and like I think if Chris Middleton didn't get hurt, they would have beaten the Celtics, and then I think that they would have just ran through the Heat. And then I think they would have had been well rested going into the Warrior matchup. And I think that they would have beaten the Warriors because the Warriors have no answer for Giannis at all.
no.
And then on top of no answer at all, I mean, you have arguably the best on-ball defender in Drew Holiday to guard Steph. And I mean, you're not going to stop Steph, but you can make it very difficult. You got Chris Middleton to guard
Oh, Drew,
Clay.
yeah, Drew Holiday is a beast.
Yeah.
I
So
love Drew
I'm saying
Holiday.
like you got Chris Middleton to guard Clay. So there's that matchup, and I like that matchup. Drew Holiday chasing around Steph Curry. I like that matchup. And then
He doesn't get
Giannis,
tired either.
who's stopping and guarding Giannis? Nobody. You know what I mean? He would have eaten them alive.
Well, yeah, because if DeAndre Ayton could, I'm sorry, but if DeAndre Ayton could not stop, like I consider him at this point in his career a better defender than Draymond. Now, do I think Draymond has a little bit more IQ, and like swatting the ball away? Yeah, but I don't, it's not to me, it's not really a comparison. Not at this phase in Draymond's career now.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Let's hope that the Nets have a bad season and KD and Kyrie both frustrated and want to leave immediately. I don't rule that out at all. I really don't. I wouldn't be shocked. I really think the Nets are a bad day away from just crumbling. I really do.
So you think they're right behind the Suns, like right behind the Suns?
I do. I mean, look, I think I wouldn't be shocked if the Nets are really good, right? And they're great, but like I think that they just have too many guys that are just too unreliable and too many question marks. And I just think like all it's going to take is just one domino to fall, and that whole house of cards come crashing down.
Do you think they can do it with a healthy Blake though? I mean, I know Blake doesn't play for them anymore, but if they had Blake, like with a healthy Blake.
I mean, I don't think Blake was really that much of a factor for them personally. He's not the same guy he used to be.
No.
I still don't really understand why the Celtics signed him, but look, Brad Stevens knows
it's
more
really
than I
weird
do.
to see.
I trust Brad Stevens more than I trust myself. I mean, that guy is, a savant when it comes to that stuff. So like, who am I to question him? But I think the Nets on paper might be arguably the best team in the league. I just don't know. One, I don't know if they stop anybody defensively. And two, I really think all it's going to take is just some nonsense to happen. And that team is just going to fold like a chair. Like they're just going to, that's going to be
it's KD and Kyrie and a bunch of mid-tier guys, if you ask me. But I don't know.
Yeah, it is. And it's a bunch of just fragile minds there. I think that's another big thing too there. But yeah.
Not to mention one of your co-biggest stars arguably has like 1 foot in basketball and 1 out. So it's kind of, it's kind of tough.
Do you think Warriors cheat at all? Do you think do you guys think the refs get paid to cheat at all? Not anymore. I've talked about this in the past on as fans. I don't think I've ever talked about it on Lakers channel, but like the refs, like there's no incentive for players and refs to cheat.
Yeah.
Like these guys make so much money, you couldn't buy them. And the only way you're really going to impact the game is to get a star, right?
Yeah.
But like how much money would you have to pay LeBron James in order to actually get him to like throw a game or impact the game? Same thing with the refs. The refs nowadays make millions. Like how much money, like, what is it, Tony Dungy or whatever his name is, or Tim Donaghy, when his whole cheating scandal and stuff, like.
By the way, there's a really great Spotify, really great podcast on that. Really good, yeah.
But even that, like how much of that was just made up bullshit? You know what I mean? Like it just, I mean, you listen to him and stuff. Like he was finding anyone he could to just talk, do that. And then he's like, oh, this guy, oh, well, no, it was just, these guys. And then I was only doing the story at times is all over the place. It just, usually when somebody comes out with something like that, there's a reason and there's gain to it. The
Yeah.
thing was is that he was getting paid to do all that
Yeah.
stuff. So like,
No,
of
of course,
course,
yeah.
like if somebody's paying you $100,000 to do an interview, you'll say whatever the fuck they want you to say. You know, like
Well, yeah,
somebody pays
exactly.
me, somebody offers me 10 grand. Yeah, like I convinced LeBron to throw games. You know, like whatever you need me to say, I will say it. Like, you know,
Because
and
a
that
lot of
was
these people are either not alive anymore or so irrelevant that they don't, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
of course you can say I paid such and such to,
yeah.
you know.
Like, do I think that there are emotions and biases? Absolutely. Um, but is that would that be classified as cheating? I don't think so. You know what I mean? Like, look, if you're a ref and there's a player that every single game he sees you, he just is talking shit, he's just a pain in the ass, you're gonna remember that. Whether you mean to just be an asshole or not, you're gonna remember that. You know, there is power in a whistle, and you give people power, they're gonna abuse it a little bit. Are there things that I think were interesting? Yes, like the Lakers and the Kings. Like, should the Lakers have lost to that segment? Yes. Was it a little shady that what the refs were doing that game? Yes. Do I think that it was a fixed rigged game? No, because the refs can only control so much. You know,
Exactly.
like the Kings, just as much as like they were winning, they just completely went away from the game plan and strategy that were making them successful. They also were like they weren't blowing whistles and the guy was standing over there. No,
Yeah.
they were being overly aggressive, calling fouls, you know, hack a check, things like that. Like there were things that went into place that caused that downfall. And that's the thing. Like there's only so much that a ref can control,
Yeah.
that like to say like a team threw that a ref threw a game and was able to dictate the outcome of a game, especially early on, is very unlikely. Now, maybe a final play or something like that,
Yeah.
sure. But again, like what's the incentive? Like how much are you going to be able to pay these guys? Like, you know, if I'm a ref and I'm making like 5 million a year to ref these games, like how much money could you pay me to make it worth me risking jail time, my career, my reputation, being blackballed from anything? I'll probably never get another job anywhere close to that. Like,
Yeah.
what you're gonna pay me 10, 20 million? And at that point, you're not going to be able to get enough on a game to where it makes sense for you. You know, because you got to pay me 10 million to throw the game, and you
Yeah.
got to now you're 10 million in the hole, and now you have to make that 10
Yeah.
million plus money that makes sense. It's just like at some point there's no, it
No,
just
really. I
doesn't make.
mean, no, I was
Go
just
ahead.
gonna say, and like for example, like too, like you said, LeBron, you're gonna have to pay his endorsements, and you have to pay his salary, and you
Yeah.
have to pay. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it just goes on and on and on. I mean, like
Well, players
and
make
plus you look
way
at
too much money.
well, yeah, and you look at like the Warriors too. Like if you look at the games, like there's not like you know what I'm saying. If there's a game where there's not a lot of like fouls or calls or anything like that, it's just Steph shooting threes from half court. You know what I mean? So it's like you can't really like.
Yeah. How do you control that? But like you said,
Yeah.
it's like do refs cheat in the NBA? Seem to think refs in every sport, including football, cheat. People think the games are scripted. Possible. Look,
Oh, I want to get on this one.
usually the people that think the games are scripted is because they lost, whether it's a
Yeah.
sports bet or their team lost or whatever it is. The games aren't scripted. They're not like there's no, and not just that. Think of how long these organizations have been around. They can't keep anything a secret. You're telling me that they've been able to keep that the games are bullshit. Like think of how many disgruntled employees, disgruntled players, things like you're telling me that there has never been a player that's came out and been like, you know, F the NFL, I'm going to expose all their secrets. Like, of course there would be, but it's because they're not like, again, there's no, they make more money by having real games and real results. And the thing is you're playing, you have humans, which means you have human error, which means you have human mistakes, things like that. Like football, football is a game of inches more than probably anything. So like,
Yeah.
you know, like one bad call can really affect future results, stuff like that. And you're trusting guys and their eyes and their, you know, emotions and their opinion based on a result to get it right every single time. It's not going to happen. You're going to have bad calls. You're going to have bad things. Like the only get like baseball, for example, like I do not understand why they have umpires still calling strikes or balls. More times than not, they are so incredibly wrong. It's not even funny. And they
Yeah.
have the technology already implemented on what is a ball and a strike every time. And the MLB says like it's to keep the integrity of the game. Like people want the umps. Nobody's going to a baseball game to watch an umpire. Like no one gives a shit about those umpires. But okay, let's say you do want that. Why don't you have that umpire on the field? And why don't you have somebody up in the box, which you already have, just sitting up there relaying, watching on the technology you have, the screen, and going, ball, strike, ball, strike, strike.
Yeah.
And then in real time, boom, doing the little like
Because
problem solved. There you go.
it takes out the drama. When the umpire gets a call wrong, everybody's
Yes,
like,
but baseball,
the coaches like do the little like strong march out to the like.
yeah, but umpires in baseball can impact
It's
more than
entertainment.
probably more than any sport. Like seriously, I mean
It's
the
entertainment.
impact.
Without that, though, it would be kind of like it would lose the entertainment value. That's probably
Yeah, but
why.
you still could have the exact same thing. Like and all the only thing is that like the ump just has an earpiece in his ear and somebody's relaying ball strike. Like you could still do the whole thing in real time. Most people wouldn't even notice the difference. You could literally do the exact
Yeah,
same thing in real time because they have the technology, but the difference is you'd get the call right every single time rather
yeah.
than like, human error trying to pinpoint a 100-mile-an-hour baseball. Like, it's like
But that's why, I think that's why too. Like they don't want they want the I guess the entertainment of being wrong sometimes.
yeah,
I think you know what I mean. That's why
they
I
want the
would say.
nonsense.
Well, no, exactly. And okay, and I do too, and I see what he's getting at, like the refs cheating. No, I don't think refs cheat, but I do think necessarily refs have their favorite team. Yeah, like they have favorites. Like I
They
don't
have
think you
favorite
could go to a
players.
referee today and like let's say you're a ref and you have your family living in like I don't want to use LA, Boston, for example, and you're excited. You know what I mean? You're excited for the game. Your family's at the game. It would be kind of hard. I mean, this is your profession. You need to call it like correctly, but like I understand that if they have their favorites and they do lean towards, and that's why people say there's certain stadiums in basketball and in football where you can go to that the refs are enforcing just for the other team. Like they always edge out a little bit, and it's been like statistically shown. But do I think that it's enough to, like you said, alter like a finals game or like a? There's been a few examples where we've had like like some questionable calls where we're like, whoa, but I don't think it's been enough to no. We not in basketball. We haven't seen something to where it's been like. Now in football, I think we've seen it a little bit more. Like the whole Russell Wilson and the Seahawks with that versus the Broncos, and there's a lot of conspiracy about that. We don't necessarily have to dig into that, but I don't know if you recall, but the Seahawks were on the 2 yard line. They had
Yeah,
beast mode, and Pete Carroll, I think it was Pete Carroll. Pete
yeah,
Carroll, coach of the Seahawks, he
yeah.
makes a play to go ahead and just, I think, throw the ball. It gets picked off. When you
Yeah.
have arguably one of the best running backs in the league, then he's going to get 2 yards for a championship. So it's like, people will look at that and they're like, okay, was the coach paid off? And you could get into that, but I just think it was
But that's what I'm
it
saying.
was just
I
a
don't
bad
see
decision.
that. I don't
It was, it
see
was,
that.
it was just a bad decision. Pete
Yeah.
Carroll gets paid, like, what'd you say? What would you say? I
I
mean,
think
I don't know.
it's
Let's
at least I think it's like 10, 20 million a year, something crazy
I'm
like that.
very curious. Pete Carroll probably gets paid crazy amount of money.
Yeah, it's just that, but that's my point. It's just there's no way that you could pay these guys enough money to throw a game or rig a game.
His salary is 8 million. Yeah, why?
Yeah,
You
so,
know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
yeah,
so I was close. I said 10 million. So yeah.
yeah,
I don't see it. I just don't see a way that you could rig that to where it'd be worth it. Like, and the thing is like 10 million is a year's salary. Like,
exactly.
so like if I was to do that, I would want more than a year's salary. Like,
Well,
like
yeah, because you're never gonna
because
get
if
a
I
coaching
get
job
caught,
ever
that's
again.
it. That's
You can
it.
never do anything in football
Yes.
related ever again.
And
Your
you're
face
gonna end up
is
getting sued,
disgraced.
and you're gonna probably get jailed. Like, I mean, you're talking. You'd have to pay me probably, $100 million, like, to where it'd be worth it, to where I'd have enough money to fight an attorney, to fight
Well,
my
yeah,
all that stuff, and not go to jail, and then still have enough money to live comfortable for the rest of my life. Like, $10 million. Like, why would I throw a game when I could just sit here and do nothing and still get $10 million? Like, it makes no sense. If the Lakers are at full strength, do you think they can beat the Clippers? I absolutely do.
Oh, absolutely.
I really think the Lakers match up very well against all these teams. All of them. I really do. I think they match up very well against the Warriors, the Clippers, you name it, we match up against them. Now, does that mean that I'm not worried about them? No. I still like the only two teams I really worry about are the Clippers and the Warriors, primarily because the Warriors are the Warriors and the Clippers, they might have the best team in the NBA if they can stay healthy. But we do match up well size-wise. They have two superstars. We have two superstars. We have three.
I was gonna say you wouldn't say three. Kind of.
It's the third. Well, the thing is like.
Yeah, I feel you.
Russ, I don't think Russ is a superstar on this team. I still believe he's a superstar. I just think on this team, he's going to be more of a role guy, like a upper echelon role guy, rather than a superstar like taking over games. Being a boss. You know what I mean? Like, I think, but to be fair, they have John Wall. So we have Russ, they have John Wall. Right. So
it balances out.
So so I think we balance out. They have better wing depth, but we have better front court depth. Like we're
and bench depth
and have more size. Yeah. So I like how we match up. Would I bet on it? Probably not, but I wouldn't be shocked either way. Like if the Lakers won the second game of the season, I wouldn't be shocked at all. I agree with you on that. I think people just get mad when their team loses and they say it's scripted. But all I have to say is that the Warriors are just good and they have talent and don't cheat. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Usually the teams that win are the teams that should have won. But like when you're talking basketball and baseball and stuff like that, like there are so many games being played. You're going to just have happenstance. Things are just going to happen because you have so many games night in and night out that you're going to have a bad call, a bad play, whatever. You got to think all these teams are playing 82 games a season. Times that by 30. You're talking hundreds of games. You're talking, 500 games, and that's not even counting the playoffs. Like, so you're talking hundreds of games that these guys are reffing. They're going to have bad calls. They're going to have bad moments. They're going to have bad everything because – again, it's human error. That's just how it is, So
because if the players can make mistakes, the refs can make mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Take J.R. Smith, a professional basketball player for a lot of years. I don't even need to look that up. But take J.R. Smith exactly in a very crucial game. This is someone who's been to the playoffs, a few times. He knows what the deal is. He knows what the intensity is. Didn't know how much time was on the clock. One of the most important things you got to pay attention to, especially in a crucial situation. So if a professional NBA player can make that mistake, someone who's been playing basketball the entire life, a ref that's been reffing for even 10, 15 years can make a mistake. And in a crucial moment, it happens.
It is. Again, it's human error. It's human mistakes, things like that.
Until we have robots, dictate the games, I think.
Refs. I think Westbrook will hold this team back. I don't think so. I really don't. I mean, he looks
not this year.
He looks so good so far. He's buying in. He's given everything that we all asked for and that we wanted. Is he going to be perfect? No. But I mean, what he's done in a week is more than any coach has been able to get him to do. He's buying in. I'm willing to give him a chance. Like if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. But if it does, this team is monstrous because we would have the best. Like I've said this before, we would have the best big three in the league. Give me another team that has a better big three than Russ, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. The Bucks. Let's say LeBron and Giannis, cancel each other out as far as impact, level of play, stuff like that. Okay, fine. I would take AD over Middleton. I would take Russ. Russ is a better player than Drew Holiday. As great as Drew Holiday is, I mean, for example, Russ had what many believe was the worst season of his career, and he still put up better stats than half the guys in the league and better stats than Drew Holiday. He still put up 18, 7, and 7 for a guy that had one of the worst careers ever. There are stars in this league that have never had a stat line like that. Like that would be a good year for them. And Russ is that good that as a third option, put those numbers up and had a bad season. So, okay, Milwaukee, right? What else there? So say the Warriors, right? LeBron is better than Steph, right? Davis is better than Draymond, and you know what? You do not
No,
tell me you think Steph is
wait.
better than LeBron James.
I mean,
Steph Curry is not better than LeBron James.
No, overall, no. Overall,
He's a
no.
better shooter, yes, but there is not a team in the league that would take
Yeah, see,
Steph Curry over
no.
LeBron James, except maybe the Warriors.
Yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right. You're right.
That's
At this
okay.
point, it feels equal-ish, but not in total
As
like
far
terms
as
of like.
as far as age and stuff like that, but skill set wise, LeBron James is a better basketball player.
No,
than Steph.
IQ passing, like taking over the like court, literally taking over a game, 100%. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Yeah.
So LeBron is better than Steph, right? Anthony Davis is better than Draymond, and let's say Russ and Clay are a wash at worst case at this point. Because look, Russ
I would actually edge Russ out just a little bit, just because of Clay's injury.
So that's one of my big things is I think that Russ overall provides you more than what Klay Thompson does. But Klay Thompson has clearly missed the step since then.
Yeah.
Clearly missed the step since then. But like, so Drip Myers, he said Drew Holiday is better than Westbrook right now. What is one thing that Drew had a better statistical category outside of 3-point shooting, but Russ has never been a 3-point shooter. Like I said, Russ had more rebounds, assists, points, everything. He is a better overall player than Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday is a great player, but there is not like if they made the same amount of money, because look, let's be honest, Russ is not a $47 million player. But if those two guys had the same exact contract, right? There is not a team in the league that would take Drew Holiday over Russell Westbrook, assuming no players, no nothing. Let's say it's just first pick. Your two options are Russ and Drew Holiday. Every team in the league is taking Russell Westbrook first. Because
the only stat that he might have over Russ is his
3-point shooting.
I'll give him that.
3-point shooting was the only thing he had better than him.
Like statistically,
and that was Russ. And that was Russ on a bad year as a third option. On what
even on defense.
I mean, no, Drew Holiday is a better overall defender, but I'm saying like just.
Well, yeah, that's like the only. Oh, okay, stat wise. Okay.
I'm saying like stat wise, like front to back. What is it like? Westbrook was better at every statistical category. Now the problem is defense impacts the plus minus. Russ. But the problem with the plus minus also is it's the impact of the overall team. There's a lot of things that go into that. So plus minus, like if Drew Holiday was on that Lakers team last year, that Lakers team still would have had probably a terrible plus minus because they were just so bad. And so it would have affected Drew's plus minus. So you can't really look at that. But I'm saying, like, is Drew a better defensive player? Yeah, I even said that earlier. Drew Holiday might be the best on-ball defender in the entire league, but he's not a better overall player than Russell Westbrook. Drew Holiday is a great player. Don't get me wrong. But I would take Russell Westbrook every year, year in and year out. And just his career alone. I mean, Russell Westbrook.
Well, his career, yeah. Last year, I can kind of see why he's saying that, just a little bit. But his career, yeah. I mean, no team is gonna build. No, you gotta take Russell.
Drew would be insane on this Laker team. On this Laker team, yes. Last season, I don't think Drew would have had much of an impact because it wasn't just Russ. It was everything. It was coaching. It was the players. It was the youth. Drew Holiday on this team, yes. Look, I will give you this. I will say Drew Holiday is a better natural fit than Russell Westbrook is on every team in the league. Like Drew Holiday is a guy that you could put on any team and immediately be an easy fit. You know, just because he's not a selfish guy. He's a guy that can shoot. So absolutely,
but he's not going to necessarily make you a contender, though. He'll be a fit,
that also doesn't make you a better player. You know, a better fit. Like, so great example. Like, you know, Drew Holiday would be a better fit on the Lakers than Russell Westbrook, but he'd also be a better fit than Luka on the Lakers. So is Drew Holiday better than Luka? No, it's just you got LeBron James on that team, so you don't need like Luka becomes completely irrelevant. You know, like
that's what I'm saying. You don't add Drew Holiday to your team and you become a defender. A contender. Sorry, you don't like.
You have to have other pieces around it. Like he is he's definitely an impact player and he's a better natural fit. But I wouldn't say he's a better overall player. I wouldn't say he's a better overall player. But
Would you take Beverly over Drew Holiday? I would. Me
I
personally.
wouldn't. No. I definitely Drew Holiday is like a upgraded, like he's basically Pat Bev on steroids.
The age difference is a little or if I'm.
Drew Holiday's younger.
Yeah, yeah, he's
not by much. Drew Holiday's
okay.
He's 30. Was he 33? But no. So like back to real quick what I was saying. So yeah, he's 32. So yeah. So I was there. I was little off, year off. But like okay, so the Warriors, like I said, matchup against the Warriors. Clippers. LeBron. Let's say LeBron and Kawhi wash, right? Let's say I would take Anthony Davis. Yeah. Anthony Davis is better than Paul George. And,
absolutely. Yeah.
And Russ is better than John Wall. So there you go.
Yeah.
So so there's that, right? What's another big three? Okay, the Nets, right? KD and LeBron are a wash, right? So you have Anthony Davis is better than Kyrie. Kyrie is nice, but overall impact, what he can do, all that stuff. Anthony Davis is a better player than Kyrie Irving. And then Russ is a better overall player than Ben Simmons. Now, Ben Simmons, I think, is a
Are you really putting AD over Kyrie though? Really?
Absolutely. Yeah. Dude, Anthony Davis, if he's healthy and playing at an elite level, might be is at the least top 3 to 5 guy in the league.
Now, are we talking about AD at his fullest potential or AD in these last few seasons?
I mean, outside of last season, AD was a monster. AD just didn't play a lot. Like, so if you give me Kyrie, like, what does Kyrie Irving give you that Anthony, like, scoring wise, they both score the same. Kyrie's a better natural scorer, but they both contribute the same amount of points.
Well, he's a better finisher. I don't
know about for a guard he is, but Anthony Davis. I mean, Anthony Davis at 7 feet or 6,
and it's hard because they play two different.
That's what I'm saying. So like finishing wise, like Anthony Davis is a solid finisher for his size.
Yeah.
Kyrie is an impeccable. He might be the best finishing guard ever.
Do you think he would blow? Like, if you have him on the wing guarding Kyrie, do you think Kyrie is going to blow past him, or do you think like it's just going to be because AD's length, he could probably recover pretty quick?
I mean, I think it'd be interesting. Kyrie's just so crafty with the basketball that, like, you know, like if they were playing one-on-one,
he's very tricky, very tricky.
Like here's the problem though: is if they were playing one-on-one, it'd probably be whoever started with the ball would probably win that game because Anthony Davis could just. Kyrie's never going to be able to guard Anthony Davis. Kyrie's just so crafty.
No, absolutely not.
So, but I'm talking about like overall talent. Kyrie is nowhere near the defender Anthony Davis is. He's nowhere near the rebounder. He's nowhere near the shot blocker. They're pretty similar.
On passing, there is similar.
Scoring wise. Anthony Davis and Kyrie. Like Kyrie isn't an elite passer.
No, he's not. No.
I mean, he's a solid passer, but Anthony Davis has gotten assist stuff too. Like I think he's better. You know, Anthony Davis is all around better than Kyrie Irving, and then Westbrook is better than Ben Simmons. You know, like so. I do think.
Oh, absolutely. We don't even need to discuss that.
I think Ben Simmons is an incredible fit for the Warriors, though.
However, I do think he's going to silence some haters, though.
The Nets.
I do think he's going to silence some. I do think this year don't get me wrong, Russ was way better than Ben Simmons, but I think this year Ben Simmons might silence some haters just a little bit. I think he's been hearing. He might come out with a fire.
I think he's a perfect complement to the team they have. But okay, so what would be another comparable big three?
In the league right now,
let's take Philly, right?
You said Philly.
LeBron and Embiid. Let's say LeBron and Embiid are a wash, right? Okay. And then you have Anthony Davis and James Harden. Anthony Davis is a better overall player than James Harden, especially now. Ever since the rule change, James Harden is not the same guy because he can't get away with the little fouls and stuff like that. They just made his job so much harder. So he's had to adjust. Plus, he doesn't show up in the playoffs. So, and again, James Harden, incredible scorer, incredible passer, but terrible defender. Bottom half of the league defensive-wise. So Davis, bigger, more same versatility. He's going to give you the same rebounding. James Harden can score more, but he's also going to give up more than Anthony Davis will. So Anthony Davis plus negative would probably be higher than James Harden because of
Yeah.
just the defensive impact that he has, stuff like that. So I would say, but let's say James Harden and Davis wash. Okay, so you have 2 washes there, and then you have Tyrese Maxey and Russell Westbrook. Tyrese Maxey is a great player, and he looks like he's only getting better, but he's not Russell Westbrook. So again,
No.
Lakers have the advantage. Like, you know, who else? Let's go. Let's go. Okay, let's go like the Grizzlies or the Pelicans, right? Because a lot of people are high on the Pelicans. LeBron is better than any guy on the Pelicans, so there's an advantage there. But let's say Zion and LeBron, right? Or no, let's say Ingram.
Is Zion playing the season, or is he? I don't think
Yeah, and he looks good. But okay, let's say Zion and LeBron. Now LeBron is a much better player than Zion, night and day.
Yeah.
But okay, let's say that's, you know, give it a point. Let's say LeBron is, you know, 3 points, not like baskets. I'm just saying like to 10, right? So say LeBron is 3 point positive against Zion, right? Anthony Davis is better than Ingram. So let's say that's another 3 points for that. So right there, even if you believe CJ McCollum is a better player, which I don't, but even if you believe CJ McCollum is a better player than Russell Westbrook, he's not going to be able to overcome LeBron and Anthony Davis.
I mean, he's good, and consistently throughout the seasons, he's a little bit more consistent, but that's not fair because Russ had 1 season with the Lakers. We got to see him again. So, like, but that's your question. He's not a better player than Russ. No. Like, exactly. Again, he's more of one of those key fit players where he can, like, fit in any team, but that doesn't necessarily, like, that him being on your team doesn't take you to, like, a championship. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he's just a good role player, but he's you know.
Miami, right? You got Kyle Lowry and Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook is a better overall player than Kyle Lowry. Jimmy Butler and LeBron James. LeBron James is a better player than Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
Bam Adebayo and Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is a better overall player than Bam Adebayo. So there you go. Lakers win again. Okay, Boston.
Chicago.
Right?
Go.
Okay, yeah, we could go Chicago to us, but let's say Boston, right? Anthony Davis is better than Time Lord. Russ. Okay, let's say Jaylen Brown is better than Russ. Okay, I mean, I think that's closer, but Jaylen Brown is younger, a guy that he looked great. So okay, let's say
again maybe more consistent, but I don't know if I'm gonna say better. That's a little bit of a stretch.
I don't think so either, but we'll compromise. We'll say okay, he's better than Russ. LeBron is better than Tatum. So again, Lakers have a 2-for-1 advantage. Chicago, right? I don't even know who that 3. Okay, so Zach LaVine, right?
Jimmy. No, sorry, not Jimmy.
Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and I guess it'd be Vucevic now because Lonzo's injured. Yeah. And who knows if he ever comes back? So LeBron is better than all of those guys. LeBron might be better than all of those guys combined, but let's say he's a +4 to DeMar DeRozan. Anthony Davis is probably a +10 compared to Vucevic. Like, so there's that, and then. Russ and LaVine. Russ is a better overall player than LaVine. So again, there's that. I mean, every team, you go down the entire list and you take the 3 best players that the Lakers have and the 3 best players that, you know, another team has. The Lakers have the best 3 players in the league. Now, chemistry.
So you're saying theoretically, if all 3 players just literally outperform their matchup, they would be fine.
Yeah, then they win. So like if this game, if it was a 3-on-3 game, the Lakers would probably beat every team in the league. Like, they probably never lose a game. But it's not. It's a game of it's 5-on-5, coaching, chemistry, all kinds of things like that all go into play, right? So we have to take all of that stuff into account. And can the Lakers get
and they can't be on the floor the whole game.
Yeah, exactly. Can they be on that and role players, bench players, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So can we chemistry-wise be better than the other teams, and just depth and rotation wise, can we be better than other teams' depth and rotation? Because I think our 3 are going to show up better than any other team's 3. And so the equalizer is going to be our rotation and bench guys. Can our rotation and bench guys play up to snuff to the other ones in the league, which I think they can. You know, you got a guy in Kendrick Nunn, Dennis Schroeder, Patrick Beverly, Walker, Bryant, Jones, You got JTA, Austin Reeves. I mean, the list goes on guys that can actually be on this team, make an impact, and be really good. I do.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be really good this year. But any
Absolutely.
last things you want to add before we skate on out here?
No. How many games we got to the regular season? 2. No.
We got 2 more games, and then
2, yeah.
a week from tomorrow is the Lakers' first game.
I'm pumped. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Wait. I cannot wait. But all right. Well, thank you all so very much, Carrie. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I really appreciate that. And everybody that was here, thank you all so very much for hanging out with us and spending this time. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe on your way out, and we will see you all in the next one. Thank you.